Alright guys, we are back. Just uploaded another video to YouTube, so while that's compiling and whatnot, I can start showing you on how to set up this animator. The reason why we're setting up like this, because if I go into Paint, so we have input, and if our input is saying to change this bool, we're actually offloading that onto another state inside of Unity, and that will then go into a substructure of the animation components that's built within Unity to be offloaded into the output. What we are doing, we are just giving it an input and saying do this for our output. A lot of times, even if you have blend states or you're trying to convert from one state to another, it's having to do a lot more work before it can go to the output. And so by doing it this way, we're actually optimizing the way the game is played. Save the frames, people. So what we need for this, serialized field, this will be our animator. Animator. There we go. And we'll just call this NM. So we're also going to want to create a private string. And this will be called NM state. So let's see. We're also going to want to go ahead. I'm going to do what I did earlier. I'm going to collapse this down, and do that, and do dashing, because we don't need those open while we're doing this. So what we want to do is we actually want to say void change animations, and we're going to pass in a string name, and this will be new state. So for the start up here, we actually need to specify this. So the first thing we're going to do is say nm equals nm.getComponent type animator, and voila. So the next thing we want to do is, after we have done that, I'm actually having to pause the video every now and then and look up some notes, because I've only done this one time, and so having notes open really helps. So the first thing we want to do is we want to check if no, it's not. What did I call that? NM state. That's what it was. If NM state is equal to new state, then we will return. Basically, this will keep it from constantly trying to play the same animation over and over and over, and it'll just get out of this instantly without screwing a whole lot up. So we're going to say nm.play, and what we want to play is the new state. Lastly, we want to say, no, I keep wanting to call it current state. I know that's not what it is. So because of that, nm state, that's what it is. We're going to say nm state equals new state. Yay. So is what's going on here, if the animation state that we are calling is equal to the new state that we're calling it, then it'll say, okay, ignore the rest of this, just keep doing what you're doing. Otherwise, it will say, go ahead and play the new state, and then it'll set the NM state to the new state, so should it try to be called back up on this, it won't do it. We can actually pass our string name for our animation state. What the hell? Just got a... Oh. Guys, I'll be right back. Got a call. Alright, so that was a short call. So, where was I? Ah, yes. So, I created the change animation states. We actually, because we're using a private string, we're actually going to need to set up a new string for our animations. So we have player idle for one. These are not private. These are not public. These are not static. This is actually called a const. And this will be a string. And the way you type these have to be the exact same way they are typed here. Well, this part doesn't. So this will be called player idle. And this will equal string type player idle. And we actually need to do this for all of our animations. So I'm actually going to move this over here so you can kind of see it. We have, so that is jump, attack, dash, jog, run, land, wall jump, and slide. Grounds. Well, grounds, that part's fine, so that doesn't really matter. So we have player jump. This is player attack. This is player dash. Player start jog. There I go again. Yeah, the player just started a job. Player run start ting. Yeah, you guys aren't getting away from that. I'm sorry. Player landing. Player wall jump. Player slide. And we're actually going to create 2 more. Player take damage. Player death. Okie dokie. So, because I'm keeping this simple, now I know earlier I said about the whole transition things, like I don't like to do it, and we're not as optimized because we are setting it up where it will check a bool and then uncheck it later on. One thing I want to make note is that even though we're doing it this way, there is another way we can do it. We can actually just create where the ground smack or ground pound is its own animation. You know, in fact, we're going to do it that way. So we're going to move this, and this will be ground pound. So this way, as long as you are in the air, they can do it. Control C. So we have player ground pound. So as long as you're in the air, it'll just go straight to that animation. Alright, so we have change animations, and it's going to look for a new string name. So when we enter that string name, say player slide, it'll take the string name of player slide and it'll apply it within the animator. And so if we come down here, we're going to say, actually I need to be looking inside my update. So fire one, well that's attack. And so we're going to say change animations, and this is called player attack. And so anytime we attack, it'll go to this. So what if we're not doing anything? Well, if rb2d.velocity.x equals 0, then, or actually we don't even need these. We're just going to say change animations, and this will be called player idle. Done. Now this will actually have a very interesting issue. If you're not moving on the X, but you're falling, it's going to go to the player idle. So we actually need to do another check saying, or actually we're going to say, and rb2d.velocity.y is equal to 0. So I'm not really too worried about that right now, because no matter what, as long as a player stops, they'll go into the idle. So we are going to change this where it will do a landing sequence. For now, I'm not too terribly worried about it. The other way we could say is we can do an exclamation mark and say is grounded. So, oh wait, no, we want to make sure that we're grounded. So as long as we're grounded, then it'll go into the player idle, as long as you're not moving left or right. Let's see, jump. So if we press jump, we want to, well, first we actually want to come in here and we're going to say change animations, and we're going to say player jump. And we're also going to have it start off in that animation again if they jump, or if they do the double jump. Let's see, that's attack. Wait, was that attack? Yeah, well, sort of. It is. It's where they're something. Which I guess we could go ahead and add this real quick. So this is... Oh, no, wait, we've already done attack, haven't we? Yeah, fire 1. Okay. This is just doing a check to see where it's at. This was run. So if they hold this, then we're going to say change animations. And this will be player run starting. And the nice thing is they'll just loop through this. If they're moving, however, speed X, horizontal, and we actually want to do a check. So right here, change animations, player start jog. We're also going to take this, we're going to paste it underneath the one below that. There we go. And the next thing we want is fire 2. If we can, or actually we're not going to want to put it inside of this one. We want to do it through the entire duration they are dashing. So that's what we're going to do. If dashing, we're going to say change animations, and this will be player dash. I think I remember that, but I don't. Okie dokie. So the next thing we want to do, let me go ahead and minimize that real quick. So what I want to do is I want to see what states these are getting changed in. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move up where we can just about see all of them. We're going to hit play. So we should see player idle moving. And that does. Jimmy, you dumbass. There we go. Animator. Let's go ahead and apply it to prefab. So now we should be able to hit play. We should see something taking place. So we are currently in idle. There's attack. There's start jog. So what's going on is this is called every frame. It's using the velocity. And so what we need to do is... Where are you at? Right here. So we have if velocity equals that, then it'll say player idle. But we actually want to say if it's grounded, and we want to do an input. So we actually want to say this instead. We're going to paste this, but we're going to make sure that this equals 0. And we can get rid of that 0. And so that should... Who just texted me? Oh. Okay. That's a mean I gotta make. Joy. So let's see if this fixes it. It should. So we're in player idle. We go to attack. Start jog. And the player now goes into a full jog. And if we hit run starting, well, now we have a new issue. So is what's going on here is it's doing the horizontal, wherever that movement's at. Here it is. So it's doing this movement right here, and it's basically saying, okay, well, since you're moving, we're going to play this. But it's not doing a check to see if you're doing input.shift. So is what we need to do is create an if statement. If is running. So we're basically saying as long as is running is false, then you can do the jog. Otherwise, you're not doing the jog. Not today, Scooter. So there's the jog, and it goes straight into player jog, and there's running speed, and that goes up into running max. There we go. So the first thing you'll notice is that whenever you're doing a jog, it always goes to that. But when we're doing the running, once it goes... Oh, that's weird. Didn't do it a second ago. Alright, so we got player jump. Alright, so we have a new issue. As you saw, it's doing the jog, but we don't want it to do the jog. So what we need to do is running and is grounded. Control C, and we'll paste that up here. So as long as we're grounded and we're not running, then it'll do the jog. But because we did that up there, we actually need to do that down here too. So we're going to say if is grounded. Otherwise, we're going to do the air animation. And so now we will test that out. So there we go. That's now working, and it's working beautifully. Alright, so the next thing we have, player landing. Now, this one's actually going to be kind of interesting. Actually, all of these are going to be kind of interesting, because like right now, we are, like when we shoot, it's only playing it for a fraction of a second, only for that one frame. So we actually need to figure out a way to play that whole transition, or play that whole animation, before jumping to this one. But that's something we can figure out after we get the actual animations in, and then we can change the animation state. But for now, for landing, that's all that we need to set. So we're actually going to need to create something else for this. We should probably actually be doing all this inside of a fixed update. So the difference between update and fixed update would be for like input presses and things like that, whereas fixed update is more for like your physics and things that are taking place. That's basically all it is. But we can double down on that later on. What was fire to dashing? Dashing, yeah. So we need to check to see if dashing and all of these that we're creating so far, now we need to make sure we're not dashing. And is dashing. So the reason why I'm adding this on there, because no matter what, I want dash to show up. I don't care how it shows up, but I want dash to show up. So we're going to come up here and is dashing. And then we have, because we have dashing down here, is dashing. We have that. We need to look for fire 1, because I don't want the player to be able to attack while they're dashing. That seems kind of like a cheeky little move. So we're going to put that and not dashing. So that should all be good now. So now we should be able to get the dash, and we should be able to see dash play no matter what we do. Okay, that's working. As you can see, dash is working. So real interesting here, when you're up in the air, it will not go back to any of these others. And the reason why, because we are in the air, to fix that we can simply say if is dashing and is grounded, then we will say change animations, and we will play this animation player jump. Well, actually, we don't want to play player jump. We actually want to play player jump after. So we're going to say player jump after. So let's go ahead and create that new string. Where is player jump? Control C, Control V, after. So the reason why I'm doing it this way, because if you do a dash, we don't want to have that jump animation. We want it to be, or actually we don't even want jump after. We actually want the one after that, because this is where the player gets unsquashed. And then we have player in air. So that's actually going to be the one that we call, is player in air. So we're going to say player in air. There we go. Control C, Control V. We'll come down here, Control V, Control S. So now, is what should happen, if I'm in the air and I do a dash, then it should get out of the dash and go straight to player in air. So let's go ahead and hit play, and we will test that real quick. There we go. So that does work. Plays dash, and then it gets out of that. Alright, excellent. Luckily for the dash timer, we already have a timer for that. So here it is. This one, we can just create the animation based on however long the timer is. We'll need to do something very similar for attack, as well as landing, and some of the other ones that we have. I'm actually going to look up Fire 3 real quick, and let's go ahead and see what Fire 3 is. So this is mouse 2 or left shift. Well, that seems legit. So we'll go ahead and do Fire 3. Let's see. I'm actually going to want to copy this line right here. So this way I can just change it to 3. I don't feel like typing anymore. I tired. And the other thing we need to do is we have this right here. So if you're grounded, it equals true. But if you're not grounded, then that's going to be false. This is where we're going to use ground pound. So we're going to say if has ground pound power up, we will say can ground pound equals true. And up here, we don't even need to worry about that. We can literally just say can ground pound equals false. The reason why we don't need to worry about that up here, because we don't need to do a check to see if it's true or false. This is already doing this for us before it even marks it as true. So we're going to say if can ground pound. First thing we want to do is change animations, and we will say player ground pound. So this is actually it will say is grounded, is dashing equals false. So this will actually take us right out of that dashing animation no matter what, and put us into this ground pound animation. And now we need to say is ground pounding, which just sounds dirty. I like it. So it's ground pounding. That just sounds wrong. Oh, I like it though. I like it. So player idle we never have to worry about, because it's going to do a check to see if it's grounded or not. Same thing with attack. Now we can have an air attack. That's completely optional. In fact, if we look at attack, so yeah, see, this doesn't actually check. So we need to do if is, well, actually that won't matter, because it doesn't matter if we're dashing or not. We cannot dash and fire at the same time. because of this right here. I guess it doesn't matter if we do it while we're in the air, but we definitely want to say if is ground pounding. Then we're going to say, yeah, you can go into a player attack. In fact, let's go ahead and add that over here. This will keep the player from attacking while they're in that animation, because that's just cheap and it's cheating. So let's see, running won't matter. So right here, jump. We have this will matter. So we need to make sure is ground pounding. And this will be if is ground pounding. And it looks like I forgot my if statement. There we go. So as long as you're not ground pounding, it'll go into the jump animations. This right here requires to be grounded. This is for jump and double jump. But we have one that was if you're in the air. So we have that. I believe it's up here. Is running, is, yeah, so if you're not grounded and you're not dashing, but we also want to say that we are not, is ground pounding. So this way it won't play that one. And so if we do ground pound, we're going to say is dashing equals false. We're going to change the animation states to the player ground pound. And this is where we actually keep it in that animation state. So we need to say can dash equals false. And we're not going to do that until after they land. So we're actually going to say, let's see. I'm actually going to start collapsing some of these because it's just getting annoying. So that's fire 2. Oh wait, fire 2 is our dash. So can dash will equal false. And then when we land, this is when can dash equals true. However, we still need to do a check for it, I believe. So yeah, okay. So no, it does a check to see if we have the dash power up or not. So we're good on that. So we have that. As soon as we hit that, they'll say can dash equals false. And also for fire 1, well, we have, as long as you're not ground pounding, then you're good. But if we are, then we need to say is ground pounding equals true. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and set its velocity going downwards. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to say RB2D dot add force. Let's go ahead and give it a new vector 2. And this will be, well, we don't want to add any force to the X, but we do want to add it to the Y. So let's go ahead and type in ground pound force. I'm actually going to double click that and copy it. I'm going to come up here, and this will be another public float. There we go. So now that we have all these should all be working. We shouldn't have any issues there, I don't think. If we do, we'll find out. So that's fine with me. So when you come down here, I'm actually going to want her to slam into the ground. So I'm going to say 20. Let's see what this looks like, shall we? So we got ground pound. Click on canvas. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I have no earthly idea where the player... Whoa. She is way up in the air. Oh, I know what it is. It's doing, no, because it's just a button down. That shouldn't matter. I know one of the areas, I know one of the things I messed up is that we have the ground pound force. That should have actually been negative 20. That's the number one thing I screwed up on. But negative 20 might be too much for it being a new vector 3. So I'm going to do a double jump. Shift. Okay, so that's... Oh, wait, I don't have ground pound yet. Okay, so that kind of works. I'm going to set this to 0.5. Let's see what this looks like. There we go. It's a little fast. Just a little fast. So I'm going to say 1.5. Let's test this out. Get up there. Oh, come on. Now that's interesting. So I need to check these colliders. Alright, so I can't go through the ground anymore, so that's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it to prefab. And the animator I need to apply to prefab. I need to reapply this one because we have the animator down here, and now we can do that. So I'm going to save it. The next thing, I'm actually going to come in here. I want to check these platforms out. So yeah, this actually needs to be tagged as ground. And the other thing that I was talking about is, you all are actually seeing this from the back side. So the issue with this, y'all see me go through it earlier. We actually don't even need a... Let me go ahead and click on all three of the... Wait, game object. Oh, y'all did do it right. Okay, good job. So why is she phasing through that then? No, not the canvas. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to type in game object. I'm actually going to select all of these. So all these have the box colliders attached to them. I'm going to say 0.25. Yeah, it might be a little much. Let me go and say 0.15. There we go. And let's go ahead and take a look at how those react to the player. Okay, so I can't go through that one. So I was on the edge. Okay, I still can't jump, and I don't know why. So let me go ahead. Oh, I know exactly why. I know exactly why I cannot jump. Yep, that's what I thought. So this is a platform. We're going to change this to ground. Why is it not changing the children? What the hell? I have no idea what the hell this is. Wait, is this the ground I made? No, that's just that one box. But that's right there, so we don't even need this. Alright, so let's go ahead and test it real quick. Okay, she can jump there. Get right up here to the edge. Beautiful. Excellent. Okie dokie. So that is working. Go ahead and save this. This is going to be the end for this video since I'm already at the 35-minute mark. I have no idea what I'm going to do next, so y'all message me, let me know what needs to be done next. As far as I know, I guess just making the animations. I don't know. Which we still need to go over that and figure out what we're going to do as far as that goes. So I'm going to stop it right here. I'm going to upload to Perforce. Actually, I'm going to show y'all. Y'all are going to see me uploading to Perforce. So with all these files checked out. I also got some of these new files. I'm just going to go through here real quick. Because player movement is because I moved the folder into the player script. So joy. We have power ups. So I actually need to look for power ups. Player scripts, power ups. So I need to select both of these. Oh, I'm tired. I think that's all I added realistically. So I'm going to mark those for add. And then we have all these right here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. So let's see. Fixed. Double jump. Changed collision properties on cubes. Let's see. Added dash. Added ground smash. Set up player stamina, energy, health bars. Added in power up icons. Power up icons disappear when collected. Added in animation states. Scripted animation states. What else did I do? I don't remember. I pooped? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. I guess that's good. Because honestly, I don't know everything I did. So I'm going to get rid of that. Put a period. And add the word and. Oh, wait. Wait, yeah, I think that is right. I don't know. I'm too tired. Let's go ahead and hit submit. See what error we pop up. Don't care. So we're going to copy all of this. Control C. Player of movement. Player of movement. That one goes away, and this one goes away. Submit. Sample scene? Why is sample scene still coming up? There we go. Alright, so do me a favor. Make sure that when you guys get on here, or actually I'll just go ahead and delete it now. So we have sample scene. This one, I cannot delete it. And it's checked out, so no, I can't check it back in because I don't have that. And I don't really feel like recreating it. And I don't think I can do the same. Yeah, I can't do that with player movement either. So that's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and hit revert on that, and then I'm going to hit mark for delete. Okay. And then we have sample scene. Where's sample scene? I'm going to hit revert, mark for delete. Okay. And so now I can go ahead and submit these. Deleted sample scene and old player movement scripts. Submit. Here we go. And so inside this script, this should all still be the same. Yeah, see, we still have Fire 3 down here. And we can test it out inside of Unity. We can view it, but we can't edit it. So I'm okay with this. And there we go. So one thing I do want to make note of is if I'm on the side, I can still jump up. So I don't actually have to be on that platform. This will be the next thing that I end up fixing. I will show you all how to do that as well. For now, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video because we're at the 40-minute mark. So I'll see y'all next video.